We had a doctor who said, I made my first million in revenue and I took 8 weeks off. Why? Because the team that she built, because of the brand that she built, because of the organization she's building.
Hi, docs. Welcome to the EntreMD podcast, where it's all about helping amazing physicians just like you embrace entrepreneurship so you can have the freedom to live life and practice medicine on your terms. I'm your host, Dr. Una.
Welcome to our very first episode in 2026. And 2026, I am calling it the beginning of the era of the physician CEO, right? And man, I am so committed to this that let me tell you what I did in December. In December, I had two big things happen. Actually, I had three big things happen. One is that we had a workshop for the doctors in private practice, the Profitable Private Practice Workshop. And it was such a powerful experience because I decided to come on and to deliver a workshop at the highest possible level to upgrade the profitable private practice movement and all of that. And we succeeded in doing just that. It was a very powerful workshop. Very powerful workshop. And we had a number of doctors join the movement. So many of them, actually would post that I just joined the movement. I'm already seeing results. I just joined the movement. I'm already seeing changes in my private practice. It was so phenomenal to hear doctors come on because at this point, when we did this workshop, the profitable private practice movement was a year old. And a doctor came on and said, I surpassed my 2025 goals. And she was saying this at the beginning of December. I surpassed my 2025 goals. And I took 5 weeks off and I'm about to take even more time off. Another doctor came in and said, I came on and for the first time I crossed 7 figures in my private practice. She is a primary care doctor in rural Alabama. And then we had a third doctor come in and say, I've run my clinic, with part-time hours and I 3x'd my revenue without changing my hours, right? So these were really big wins that people were sharing. And it was just so good to see. It was so good to see. Now, new doctors come in and they start creating the transformation. They start creating the change in their own practices. Just wonderful. So I did that. And on the faith-based side, I had hosted a 3-day retreat at my home church. And this was a goal-setting retreat experience. And the interesting thing is, in addition to that, so the very third thing is I was thinking, I said, what can I do for the physician community in 2026 that will bring about the biggest shift where people will see shifts they cannot unsee, right? And I sat with this for a few months. And by December, I had come to the conclusion that I think I am going to take on the challenge of helping 1,000 physicians hit their first or next 7 figures in revenue, right? So we're talking 7-figure leaps. So maybe they have their first $1 million year, they have their first $2 million year, $5 million year, $10 million year. And I said, how about I do that? That will be the thing I focus on because if we can get that many examples of what is possible, the fears go away. No, we are not the kind of people who can do this. This goes away. The way we perceive a physician will change because we are not only clinicians, we can be great clinicians and savvy entrepreneurs, right? And so I'm thinking about all of this and I said, okay, in order to pull that off, I am going to need to document the 7-figure framework in such a way that it is readily accessible to doctors. Okay. And I tell you this piece because when I did the goal setting retreat experience, I said, there is no way I'm teaching for 7 hours or 8 hours, whatever it came out to be, and I'm not getting a book out of this, right? And because I said, these concepts are so powerful, I need to write a book so that the people who are learning this have something they can go back to over and over again, because we have this deceptive thing that we set goals in December and we walk away from it. The ultra successful have their goals on their mind all the time. And they're constantly looking for better ways to accomplish them, ways to do it faster, ways to do it bigger, and things like that. And so here I was in December with the task of creating 2 books. Okay. And, December is a holiday, it's a holiday, but it's a holiday month, if you will. And I was like, so perfect. I have time to pull this off. So what did I do? I took the goal setting retreat experience and I turned that into a book. It's called Your Best Year Yet. And if, you're into that because, it's a faith-based book, it's at successbythebook.org. That's where you can find it. That book went live December 29th. Okay. December 29th, 2025. Okay. So the week of Christmas, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I sat and I recorded an audio recording of the 7-figure framework. Okay. And that is the audio book that has the 7-figure framework. And when we say 7-figure framework, you can now take away zeros or add zeros. Hopefully, like you're adding zeros, right? And it's the same framework, right? Well, so it's 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, whichever, like it's the same framework. You just stack it on. But anyway, so I recorded the audiobook on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of December. And so December 29th, we had the book, Your Best Year Yet, right? For my faith-based community. And today, if you're listening to this right when it was released, is the launch date for the 7-figure physician CEO book, okay? The audio book. And I created this for you. Like I said all of this to say, I was busy in December creating for you what I believe will bring the greatest transformation. I am looking for doctors who are willing to say yes. You may not have it figured out. You may not be sure. You may even have a tad little bit of fear and all of those things, but you are willing to bet on yourself. You're willing to go all in. The status quo is not acceptable. The way things are not acceptable. And you're like, I am willing to pay the price to figure it out, okay, and get a different result. Okay, so if that's you, I made this book for you. I made this book for you. The principles are in there. You can start applying them. You can start creating changes in your life. All the doctors in the EntreMD Business School are reading this book. All the doctors in the Profitable Private Practice Movement are going to read this book. Like all the doctors in my world, I have my children reading it, right? This is going to be a complete game changer. So anyway, we have that book, right? So you can actually find the book at 7figurephysicianceo.com, okay? And this is one that you want to listen to over and over and over again. You want the doctors in your world to listen to over and over and over again. You want to help us spread the word and say, okay, we can learn these things. If we could learn an algorithm for practically raising people from the dead, which is what I call running codes, then we can learn the algorithm for a 7-figure business, a multi-7-figure business. And you might say, Dr. Una, I don't have any kind of business. That's okay. You start, right? Like you start from where you are and you keep improving till you get there. We did that in medicine. We know how to do that, right? So anyway, so we got the book, okay? So my personal opinion is that 2026 is going to be more challenging than 2025. I don't see it being less challenging. However, it is also a time of the greatest opportunity for us because we can rise to the occasion. We can learn the skills that make the challenges not really bother us. We can learn the skills that will help us thrive. We can become the kind of doctors who can thrive in the midst of chaos. And you might say, Dr. Una, you don't understand. But this is the deal. I built my private practice in 2008. You know that was the year of a significant recession. I was growing my practice during the COVID-19 pandemic. My practice thrived through the Great Resignation. Like we rise to this. And I have many clients because the EntreMD Business School was launched June 27, 2020. So in that year, we had doctors come in. We had doctors start businesses. We have doctors build businesses in the pandemic that thrived then and are still thriving today. And so I don't think it will be easier, but we need to get better. The option of staying the same does not exist. And so I am all in. I am 1,000% committed to you. So I want to walk you through what we have put together for you to win in 2026 and beyond, okay? This is the era of the 7-figure physician CEO. This is the era where we rise to the occasion. This is the era where we are great clinicians and savvy entrepreneurs, okay? This is the era where we win in spite of the challenges. Things are not going to change. We are going to change them, okay? All right, so what did we do? What did we put together for you? Number one, the EntreMD podcast. What you're going to see on this podcast is there is going to be a lot of conversation about the framework, about 7 figures, about how to get there, about how to overcome the things that stop us from getting there, whether it's to 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, whatever the number is, okay? You are also going to see a lot of interviews, in-depth interviews with doctors who have crossed 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, how they did it, the obstacles they had to overcome, all of that. I'm going to faithfully, consistently, relentlessly put this in front of you, and I want you to show up every week and listen and show up every week and watch it on YouTube and say, okay, what does this mean for me? I want you to come with an attitude of curiosity, with a growth mindset to say, what if, right? What if is a multi-million-dollar question. What if I could build a seven-figure business? What if I could build a multiple seven-figure business? What if I could add an extra million in revenue? What if I can add $1 million in revenue and take an extra 4 weeks off? Like, what if? What if? I want you to approach you with that attitude. I want you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, to the podcast yet. I want you to subscribe. I want you to follow. I want you to set a timer. Like every week I come back and I listen and listen and listen. I am not doing this to be a podcaster. I am doing this to help you. I am doing this to help you thrive as a physician entrepreneur. Okay, so the first thing is the EntreMD podcast. And if the EntreMD podcast has been really good to you, okay, consider it my birthday. It is not my birthday, but pretend it's my birthday. Leave us a review. It helps us get the word out there. Write us a review. So that's the first thing we did. The second thing I've already talked about, which is the seven-figure physician CEO audiobook, okay? I want you to get that audiobook. It is the best $9.99 you will spend, the best, okay? With a huge ROI, because I did not hold back at all. I sat down and I recorded and gave you the real stuff. Okay. I want you to get the audiobook. I want you to listen to it. This is not a book you listen to once. The reason it's there is that, in a few hours, I can go through the whole framework and I can come back and go through it again. And I can come back and audit my business, audit it against the standard, go make some changes, come back, go make more changes, come back. It is like your curriculum. You know how you have your PALS card or your ACLS card, and back in the day you have it in your pocket so you can pull it out for quick reference. This is that for you. This is that for you. So you have something to go back to over and over again and create changes. Even the doctors in the EntreMD Business School, they're going to do this over and over. Now, they're doing the year-long version because we're gonna workshop this stuff. We're gonna think of it like they have the audiobook and we're gonna install this in their business. We're gonna implement this. It's gonna be amazing. But you have the audiobook. When I started out as a physician entrepreneur, there was no education for us. Guess the problem you don't have. You don't have that problem because now you have the podcast number one, you have the audiobook number two. Okay. So I want you to get it. Seven-figure physician CEO. Okay. All spelled out, no numbers, sevenfigurephysicianceo.com. Grab your copy, listen to it. And what I would love for you to do is to realize that this is a movement. This is not about me. This is not about helping a few doctors win. This is about shifting the narrative for physicians, shifting the culture, where seven figures becomes the new floor. I want you to think about it. Even if your business is not at seven figures yet, or even if you can't imagine 5 million, even though you've been at 2 million for a few years, I want you to hear me when I say this. Seven figures as a new floor. Like, let's embrace it. Let's figure it out. I am so committed to it that I'm revamping the podcast. I recorded a whole audiobook. So you may say, I don't know how to do that. There's no problem. We're here for you. We're here for you to support you till you get it done. Okay, so we have the book. Okay, so end-to-end framework. This is so you can gain mastery. It's not about, I heard the book before. It's not about, I've seen the book before. It's not about that. It's about mastery. You come, you learn, you do. You come, you learn, you do better. You come, you learn, you do some other stuff you didn't do before. You come, you learn. You're just taking that as your vision board, if you will, and you're auditing your business and turning your business around. It will blow your mind. Okay. That's number two. Number three, we have the profitable private practice movement. Okay. The profitable private practice movement we built for physicians who run private practices on purpose, for private practice owners who run businesses. And the reason for this is very simple. The starting point of it is when I read about Walgreens closing, was this Walgreens or Walmart? It was one of them, closing 50 clinics in Florida. 50 in Florida. And I thought about it. I said, oh my goodness, if there's 1,000 patients per clinic, which of course is going to be much more, but if there's 1,000 patients per clinic, what does that mean? That means that 50,000 people just lost access to care. And I asked myself the question, are there private practices where these people can be absorbed? Are there private practices that are thriving? Because at the same time, private practices are going out of business. This is about healthcare of the United States. This is about healthcare. And this is about doctors who are well-meaning, great clinicians, want to do good service, want to serve their communities, but they don't have the business system to make it work. And this is whether, these are fairly new practices or practices that look like they're established. And they look like they're established because they have the volume, they may even have a wait list and all of those things, but the money is not working. is not working. The cash flow is not working. The pressure is on, right? Why? Because the operating system that allows them go to 7 figures, multiple 7 figures, 8 figures does not exist. And so we built a profitable private practice, and we built it where the investment is less than a cappuccino a day. Why? Because we want every private practice owner, to have access to world-class mentorship. World-class mentorship. And we focus on 3 operating systems. Why these 3? Because if you have these 3, your practice will win. At least your practice will win, your practice will be profitable, and you have a team that gives you peace and quiet. What are these 3 operating systems? The operating system that allows you to fill your schedule. The operating system allows you to get paid for the work you do. The operating system that allows you to build a profitable team. If you have these 3 things, if you learn these 3 things, you can turn your practice around. And so what was our answer to private practices going out of business? We built the profitable private practice movement. Okay. And so if you are a private practice owner, this is something available to every private practice owner. Oh my goodness, take advantage of it. EntreMD.com/movement. Okay. So if you're not part of the movement, you're not part of any of those things, this was built for you. And it is so simple. You literally show up once a week, every Thursday, 12 noon Eastern. And I say 12 noon, I'm seeing patients. That's the deal. We are not going to do this in the evening, because what we are trying to do is break this culture of, oh, I see patients, then I go back home and I'm still working at all that stuff. We want you to work on your work when you are at work. So that is why it's at 12 p.m. 12 p.m., it being at 12 p.m. is part of your business education. Okay. So you come every day, every Thursday, and you come and work on your business. You get direction on your business. So you're moving the needle. That's how Dr. Leslie Bostic, who's been in the program for at least a year, was able to 3x her revenue in 1 year without working extra hours. Can that be your reality? It could be. It could be. It all depends on what you do when you come in. But I'm telling you, people are creating wild results. Okay. What else do we have? We have the EntreMD Business School. The EntreMD Business School is our year-long program. I know we say it's year-long. A year is the minimum. We have people who came in 5 years ago, and they're still in the EntreMD Business School. This is where the evolution from physician to physician entrepreneur happens. This is where you learn how to build a dominant brand that makes you a household name. This is where you learn how to build revenue generation systems so you know how to create revenue. This is where you learn how to build teams that can run your business without you. This is whether you're private practice or not. The EntreMD Business School is for you, whether you're an employed physician trying to build your personal brand, whether you own an insurance-based practice, a cash-based practice, you own a product-based business, you run events, whichever, right? Whatever it is you want to do, we show you how to build a business system around this, okay? We have had people create all kinds of results. We've helped people launch their businesses, grow their businesses, take you to their first million, take you to multi-million. We have a number of people who are close to 8 figures. I cannot wait, right? And this is mind-boggling. But in the school, my commitment to the doctors in the school is we are going to work this framework. We're going to workshop this framework. We're going to give them the support they need, because we are going to see an unprecedented number of doctors cross this threshold. We're going to see that. In fact, today, I would do cartwheels if I was not 46 years old, because this is what happened. I go into the EntreMD Business School Facebook community, and a doctor comes on, and she says, I kept refreshing and refreshing. I think it was her bank account, website. I kept refreshing the page, and finally we did it. We hit 1 million in revenue, right? And it was so beautiful to see, because she did the work. She did the evolution. She built the dominant brand. She did all of these things. And here she is at 1 million in revenue. So I saw that and I was like, oh my goodness. Now, another doctor came on, she's in EntreMD Business School as well. And she said, I did not hit 1 million, but I've been in the EntreMD Business School. So she had been in the business school when the first year we started it. And then, she graduated and all that stuff. And then she came back. And she came back in June of, 2025. And so by December of 2025, she was saying, oh my goodness, I didn't hit 1 million, but I see how I could have if I got out of my way sooner. I'm paraphrasing. And then she said, but my business has grown 2.5x since joining the EntreMD Business School. So we're talking 6 months. And she's like, I see the path clearly. I've evolved. I've gone out of my own way. Said I used to work a locum job. I fired myself from that job and hired myself in my business. And then she said, I know what to do. So for the next year, I'm shooting for 2 million. Can you imagine? We're talking 6 months of transformation. Can you imagine going from where she was 2.5x, quit her locum job, hired herself anything, and she believes that she can create 2 million. And guess who's excited to work with her on that project? Yours truly, right? So these are the kinds of things that happen in the school. And on the same day, this is all happening on the same day. On the same day, another doc comes on. She's so amazing. She has a cash pay practice. And I love watching her because there's so much mindset drama around raising prices, leading a team, hiring people, de-hiring the wrong fits, all of those things. And I have watched her do every one of those things. She'll come on. She's like, oh my goodness, I have to do this. I'm not sure how to do it. I'm having so much mind drama, and we'll work through it. And she'll go do it. She's such a doer. She embraces the discomfort. She doesn't shy away from the frogs, right? Which is what we used to describe the needle movers that we usually don't want to do because, there's so much drama associated with them. I've watched her do it over and over and over and over and over again. And she said, I had my first $100,000 month. Now she's done 80,000, right? So she's on track for 7 figures, following 12 months. She's done 80,000, but she had her first $100,000 month. Do you know what it means to go from employed physician to your first 6-figure month? So mind-boggling. I mean, doctors who are going to be the leaders in the healthcare space, the movers and the shakers, are built. We have watched them do so many things. It's so beautiful to see. Whether it's a dominant brand like Dr. Rachel Rubin's brand, whether it's the revenue shifts they make like Dr. Sarota, who actually celebrated her first $1 million month. I'm saying this because they've said these things openly, right? Or it's the doctors who have built teams that allow them take 5 weeks off. We had a doctor who said, I made my first $1 million in revenue. This is a cash pay practice, 3 years old. My first $1 million in revenue, and I took 8 weeks off. Can you imagine it? Why? Because of the team that she built, because of the brand that she built, because of the organization she's building. So I am so committed to helping I'm just like, I am here for you. I've done the book. I've brand new programming. It's like gonna be so wild. Why am I telling you this? Because this is the era of the 7-figure physician CEO. And I want you to say yes to the call. And I want you to understand you have the support to do it. When I started my journey, I went to the EntreMD Business School called the School of Hard Knocks. I didn't have this support. But guess what you do? You have this. And let me tell you the 5th thing that I'm going to do. And I started this 4 days ago. I started this on the 1st of January. I am committed to showing up, and I am going to take 3 million steps in 2026 to inspire 1,000 physicians to say yes to their first or next 7 figures in revenue. Okay. So for you, it may be your first $1 million year. For somebody else, it may be their first $2 million, $5 million, $10 million year, but whatever. I am walking and taking steps, putting in the mileage. I'm going to show up, walking outside, walking inside, doing all of the things to inspire you. That's my walk for the cause. And I'm going to show up, and I'm going to mentor, and I'm going to teach, and I'm going to answer questions. And I'm going to do what I do in the Profitable Private Practice Movement in the EntreMD Business School. And I'm going to keep going on. I'm going to keep putting pictures in front of you. I'm going to keep at it because I want you to win. So if you are listening to this, I want you to say yes to it. I want you to send me a DM and say, Dr. Una, I am going to put my walk and all of those things that I'm doing with the 3 million steps that I'm taking. I'm going to put that on Instagram. So at Dr. Una Chukwu, like my full name, DR, and my full last name. I want you to follow me there. I want you to send me a DM like, Dr. Una, I'm one of your 1,000. I'm one of your 1,000. I'm one of your 1,000, right? And I am rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. Whether it's your first, whether it's your 10 million, whichever. I am rooting for you. Guys, here's the deal. You're listening to this now. There's a reason you listen to this podcast. There's a reason you show up week after week. There's a reason somebody shared this with you. There's a reason. And the reason is because you are a candidate. You're a candidate for this. So you may have not hit 1 million. You're like, I'm ready. You may have been at 2 million for a long time and you're like, I'm ready. You may be at 5 million and the money's good, but you have no time and your health is suffering and your family is suffering and you don't want to do this anymore. I don't want you to do it anymore either. I want you to win in business in such a way that you can create your dream life. I don't want you to sacrifice one for the other. I want to see you win. So I want you to say yes to this. Now, the doctors who are in the EntreMD Business School, they get the profitable private practice movement and they get the audiobook and they get the podcast. They get the whole thing. I want you to start your journey. If the podcast is what you do, get the book. If you got the book and you're in private practice, PPPM. If you got PPPM, it's time for the EntreMD Business School. And the EntreMD Business School is the most cost-effective way of becoming a physician entrepreneur. Opening a business, opening a practice does not make you a physician entrepreneur. It makes you a physician who has a business. What makes you an entrepreneur is developing the mindset, the habits, the skill, and the network of a physician entrepreneur. And can you do it? Yes, but this is something that is learned. It's something you gain mastery of. What makes a physician go from I'm employed, unemployed physician to I'm running a multi-million-dollar business? There is a transformation that happens there. What makes you say, no, I'm not trading time for dollars in that way anymore. I'm going to build a system that gives me leverage. It's entrepreneurship that does that. Don't let anybody deceive you into thinking that an investment in your education is not needed. It's not true. Don't let anybody deceive you that you don't have to change and things will just change. It's not true. I have done this for myself for the last 15 years, and I have done this for other physicians for the last 7 years. Your investment in future you is a requirement. And I want to invite you to start. Okay? So subscribe to the podcast, get the audiobook, sevenfigurephysicianceo.com. And it's time to book your call to find out if the EntreMD Business School is your absolute best next step. EntreMD.com/call. Why am I telling you about all these things? Because I want you to know everything that is available for you to win. It does not matter how challenging this year is. You can still win, but you will not win doing things the way you always did them. It's a lie. You will not win not investing in yourself. It's a lie. You will not win on your own. You need community. The strongest entrepreneurs have community. They build communities. And the EntreMD as a company has a track record for over 7 years of supporting physicians, being authentic about it, putting physicians winning above revenue. We always talk revenue. We always talk that, but your success is more important. Your success is our success. That's how we win. And we have a track record of people who are creating results using our systems. So it is time to equip yourself with what you need to win as a physician entrepreneur in 2026. Doing it alone is no longer required. The trial and error, no longer required, right? Not having people to lean on, no longer required. Not having access to world-class mentorship, no longer required. Needing to build a business in a way that you're sacrificing your family and your health, this is no longer a requirement. You can build a dream business that allows you to have a lot of impact and gets you time freedom and gives you financial freedom. And the 7-figure framework is the blueprint. We have the blueprint. And I want to invite you to come in and start going all in on your physician CEO journey. It starts now. It starts now. Okay? So if you didn't get the audiobook, if you haven't booked your call, book your call. But this is a time to set yourself up to win throughout 2026, one step after the other. So I am rooting for you. Take this episode, share it with every doctor in your world because it's time. It's time and nobody's coming to save us. And no, it's not going to get better. We are going to get better and then we're going to make things better. Okay? So I'm looking forward to doing this with you the entire year. I'm so excited that you're saying yes to yourself. I'm so excited that you're not letting fear stop you because fear is the enemy. Fear will stop you, fear will cripple you, and fear will ensure that you remain the same. The problem with remaining the same is that things are getting worse and people are getting better. So you can't actually stay the same. If you stay the same, technically you're getting worse every single day. So I'm so glad that you're not letting fear stop you. I'm so glad you're not allowing yourself to think, oh, but what if I can't pull it off, right? You thought that before medical school, but here you are. So I'm rooting for you. This is the beginning of a brand new day. It starts with your decisions, and I'm glad you've made the decision. So can't wait for you to listen to the audiobook. Can't wait for you to talk with my team as you schedule your calls. And I will see you on the next episode of the EntreMD podcast.